Samuel is a humble black man born and raised in a small village in the Rio Grande hinterland. His life has never been easy. He lost his father at the age of 17 to a sudden illness and was forced to drop out of school to help support his family. Since then, Samuel has worked tirelessly to ensure that his mother, Maria, had the minimum necessary to live. They lived in a modest wooden house with a leaky roof and time-worn walls. Despite the difficulties, Samuel had a steadfast spirit and an unshakable hope for a better future. His mother, a strong and resilient woman, always taught him the importance of hard work and honesty. No matter how difficult life gets, Samuel, always be fair and honest. The rest will come with time, she often said. These words echoed in his mind, guiding his actions and decisions. At age 22, with little education or experience, Samuel found himself at a crossroads. The work he could find in the village was not enough to improve their living conditions, and he felt trapped in a vicious cycle of poverty. Wearing old sandals, jean shorts, and a tattered shirt, he decided to find work on farms in the area. His goal was to find a job that could change his life and bring a decent life for his mother. Samuel's journey on dirt roads was lonely and arduous. He walked from farm to farm, facing the sun and rain with a determination that only grew with each rejection. At every farm he visited, Samuel humbly offered his services, cleaning the yard, tending the garden, doing small repairs, anything that would ensure a little money to take home. It was a hot afternoon when Samuel arrived at Boa Vista Ranch, famous for its vast land and high-quality cattle. The farm's main house is impressive, with a large colonial-style house surrounded by lush trees and well-kept gardens. With his heart pounding, Samuel approached the porch where the manager, a strong man with a stern face, was sitting. "What do you want?" The manager, Mr. Johnson, asked in a disdainful voice, walking up and down the porch steps with steady steps. Mr. Johnson looked at Samuel with suspicion. Thinking that this simple, poorly dressed man might have come here to steal food or ask for weapons. Another is looking for trouble, he thought. Samuel, modestly and nervously, took off his straw hat and twisted it in his hand. "Good afternoon, sir, my name is Samuel. I'm looking for a job. I can do anything you need, cleaning, maintenance, anything," he said in a shaky but hopeful voice. The manager smiled sarcastically and crossed his arms. "We don't employ anyone here. You need qualifications to work on our farm." "What can you do?" Samuel took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "Sir, I'm a groundsman. I can take care of the garden, fix the fence, take care of the animals. I do a little bit of everything, a yard worker." Mr. Johnson smiled sarcastically. "We're not hiring yard sweepers here. We need people with education and practical experience. Go get some degrees, some real degrees, experience," he said, shaking his head disapprovingly. The harsh words hit Samuel like a punch in the stomach. He felt humiliated, a tear rolling down his cheek as he turned away. At that moment, Samuel promised himself he would never be treated like that again. He will change his life and prove his worth. Determined to change his life, Samuel went to the city. He walked the streets, going door to door, trying to find work. He stopped at many stores, markets, and even smaller farms. But always received rejection. People looked at his old clothes and calloused hands and judged him as useless. "Sorry, but we're not hiring," they'll say, avoiding eye contact. Samuel began to lose hope, but his determination prevented him from giving up. Tired and depressed, he saw a small auto-electrical store on the outskirts of the city. It was a crowded place with trucks and cars constantly coming in and out, and the smell of oil and burning metal filled the air. Samuel approached the counter, where a middle-aged man with gray hair and greasy hands was serving customers. "Good afternoon, sir, I'm looking for a job," Samuel said with his usual modesty. The man looked him up and down. "What do you know how to do?" "I'm a yard worker, but I learn quickly. I can help with anything you need," Samuel answered hopefully. The store owner, Mr. Carlos, scratched his chin thoughtfully. "We need someone to help clean up and organize the equipment." "Can you start today?" Samuel smiled with relief. "Yes, sir, thank you very much for this opportunity." So, Samuel started his new journey at the auto-electric shop. Initially he cleaned the floors and arranged the tools, but his curiosity and desire to learn soon attracted Mr. Carlos's attention. He observed the mechanics working attentively, asking about the car's parts and operation. His efforts and dedication have not gone unnoticed. "Samuel, you seem to have a talent for this," Mr. Carlos said one day while showing him how to fix the generator. "I will teach you everything I know," and Mr. Carlos kept his promise. He taught him every detail he knew, things he had never shared with anyone. He saw the effort and sparkle in Samuel's eyes. With each lesson, Samuel learned quickly and showed great dedication. In a short time, he acquired knowledge that took others years to acquire. Over the years, Samuel has become an expert in the field of automotive electronics. His talent and work ethic have earned him respect and recognition. Then he decided to open his own store. Working tirelessly, Samuel turned his small business into one of the most sought-after auto-electrical shops in the area. He not only repairs cars but also treats each customer with respect and humility, always remembering the lessons he has learned along the way. Now at the age of 32, Samuel has achieved the success he always wanted. With his auto-electrical shop well established and business thriving, Samuel allowed himself to dream again of his rural roots. He has always had a special affection for rural life, and now, with a stable financial situation, he decided it was time to realize this dream. Samuel began researching farms for sale in the area, looking for a place that not only met his needs but also gave him the peace and satisfaction he desired. After a week of hard work, Samuel drives his pickup along dirt roads surrounded by vast green fields and wooden fences. Rose bushes surrounded him as he looked around, observing each property with a keen eye. At each farm he visited, he looked at the land, the infrastructure, and talked to real estate brokers, but nothing seemed to be exactly what he was looking for. Guided by his determined spirit, Samuel continued to drive his pickup along many dirt roads, visiting several farms and asking locals about real estate for sale. In a small village, he stopped at a roadside shop to drink coffee and chat with the locals. "Do you know of any farms for sale around here?" Samuel asked the seller while getting his coffee. "Ah, I think it's Boa Vista Farm," the man replied, scratching his head. "I heard the owner is thinking of selling it. It's about 10 kilometers from here, just go straight until you see the entrance." Samuel thanked him and returned to his pickup truck as instructed. As he approached the designated farm entrance, a mixture of anxiety and nostalgia overtook him. His heart pounded when he noticed the rusty iron gate. That was the farm where 10 years ago he faced the humiliation that would change his life. Surprised by the coincidence, Samuel stopped the pickup truck and looked at the entrance for a moment. The memory of that painful afternoon came back with force. He felt a wave of emotions but also a sense of closure. Deciding not to let his past rule him, he took a deep breath and entered the property. Driving to the farm, Samuel found the owner, an elderly man sitting on the porch. "Good morning, sir. I heard that the Boa Vista Farm is for sale." Samuel tried to keep his voice calm despite his inner turmoil. The owner stood up and approached, a friendly look on his face. "Good morning, young man. Yes, I'm thinking of selling. Times have changed and I no longer have the same attitude as before to take care of things around here. We can talk if you care about." Samuel nodded and the two sat down to discuss the details. The farm is large and fertile, the land and facilities are suitable for livestock farming. Samuel felt he had come to the right place and decided to proceed with the purchase. They negotiated the price and Samuel made sure that the contract included a condition that the sale be kept secret, especially from the farm manager. Does this farm have a manager? A man has worked here for many years. He's a bit older and looks healthy, Samuel asked, trying not to show his concern. Yes, the owner replied, tilting his head curiously. He has been with us for more than 15 years, always taking care of operations, a dedicated man, I must say. Samuel took a deep breath. The fact that the manager is still on the farm only makes his duties more important. After we finished signing all the papers, I wanted to talk to the staff but the manager wasn't there. I wanted to surprise him. And please ask everyone not to mention anything. Mention anything about the sale until I'm ready to reveal it. The owner was still a bit confused but respected Samuel's request. I have agreed as you wish. We will keep this between us and the staff. With all the papers signed, Samuel became the new owner of Boa Vista Farm. He was determined to keep it a secret from the manager, creating an atmosphere of anticipation among the workers. He felt both nervous and excited as he prepared for the next step. After completing the acquisition, Samuel assembled the farm's employees except the manager. The workers were surprised and curious about the manager's absence from the meeting. They looked at Samuel expectantly. Good morning everyone. My name is Samuel and I am the new owner of Boa Vista Farm. I just bought the farm and need to ask you a favor. I want to keep this information a secret, especially from manager because 10 years ago, he helped me a lot so now I want to surprise him, Samuel said. The staff, although surprised, agreed to the request. There is an air of mystery and anticipation but also respect for the new owner who really cares about people. Samuel thanked the staff for their understanding and once everything was arranged, he began planning his surprise. The next day, he dresses simply, remembering his humble times, and returns to the farm to avoid arousing the manager's suspicions. Samuel left his pickup parked a safe distance from the farm and walked the rest of the way. He couldn't wait to face the manager, not for revenge but to show the manager how much life had changed and what he had achieved. When he arrived at the farm, Samuel saw that the manager was now old and tired from overseeing the work of the farm. Good morning, sir, Samuel said in a fake voice. I'm looking for a job. I need any job you have here. My family and I are in need. The manager, focused on his task, looked up with disdain. But a shadow of recognition flashed across his face. He narrowed his eyes, looking at Samuel more closely. You seem familiar. Have you been here before? He asked with suspicion and annoyance. Aren't you the guy who came here years ago to apply for a job as a yard worker? Samuel nodded slowly, keeping his gaze steady. Yes, sir, I am. And now do you have anything for me? The manager snorted, clearly annoyed. So it's you. Dare to come back here after all this time, wearing those tattered clothes. It seems like so many years have passed and you're still the same, even worse. I told you and I say it again, go to school instead of wandering around looking for help. Samuel felt a familiar pain and determination. He raised his head and looked firmly at the manager. With all due respect, sir, I think the person who should be ashamed is you. No one should be treated like that. Everyone deserves respect regardless of their financial condition or appearance. No, not everyone can afford a good education and a degree, but that doesn't mean anything. I have seen many smart people around. They are smarter than some doctors with degrees. The manager, surprised by the direct answer, backed away a bit but was even more annoyed with Samuel's audacity. Who do you think you are, talking to me like that? You come here with these tattered clothes and want me to arrange any work for you and still dare to talk to me this way? Get out of my sight. My eyes before I kick you out. Samuel remained calm, his eyes intense. I'm sorry, but I won't leave here. The land you're standing on now belongs to me. The The manager smiled disdainfully and shook his head. You are not only poor but also crazy. It's a good thing I didn't give you a chance here. You could have been a big trouble for us. Samuel took a step forward, his voice determined and full of conviction. The only troublemaker here is you with your arrogance. No, now you manage that I'm your boss and you're the one who works for me. The manager stopped laughing and disappeared immediately. Boss? What do you mean? Are you crazy? The farm hasn't been sold yet. Sold indeed, Samuel replied with a delicate smile on his lips. I bought it yesterday and asked everyone to keep it a secret because I wanted to surprise you. 10 years ago you despised me, but today I thank you for that. If you accept me in here, I'm still just a yard worker. But thanks to you, I left here and found a good job in the city time. I was able to open my own Auto L electrical store, and today my business is one of the most famous in the area. With dignity and respect, I climbed the ladder and today I am a very successful man. The manager was stunned and slowly shook his head, processing Samuel's words. How can that be? It can't be true, Samuel continued. His voice filled with emotion. The world turns and knows that I came here not to seek revenge but to say I forgive you. Everyone deserves a second chance and I will give you mine. I am the boss of you for now, but I will let you continue working here on my farm. However, I want you to never look down on anyone here again. Respect will prevail regardless of the conditions each person's finances, and if someday a young man comes here looking for work, treat him well. The manager listened in silence, feeling a rising wave of shame. I'm so sorry, he said, his eyes filled with tears and his face tinged with confusion. He bowed his head, unable to even look back. The manager apologized again and left, leaving Samuel and the farm workers behind. Although Samuel gave him a second chance, the shame and regret were so great that he could not continue working there. He left, carrying with him a lesson he will never forget: never underestimate anyone. One day you may succeed and the next day you may fail. If you love engaging and true stories about life, click the subscribe button now to not miss any videos. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to receive the latest information from us. Thank you for your support and companionship.